Welcome back to Epic Greek Myths, where we explore the most fascinating, tragic, and legendary stories from ancient mythology. In today's video, we're diving into the haunting story of Adonis, the beautiful mortal so desired that even the gods fought over him. His myth is one of love, obsession, jealousy, death, and rebirth, and beneath the romance lies a much darker meaning tied to nature, mortality, and the fleeting nature of beauty itself. From his shocking birth to his tragic death at the tusks of a wild boar, Adonis became one of the most symbolic figures in all of Greek mythology. So sit back, relax, and let's journey into the tragic legend of Adonis. The story of Adonis begins long before he was born, with a curse that would destroy an entire family. His mother was a princess named Myrrha, sometimes called Smyrna in older versions of the myth. According to legend, Myrrha's beauty became the cause of Aphrodite's anger. Some stories claim Myrrha boasted that she was more beautiful than the goddess of love herself, while others say her mother made the comparison. Either way, Aphrodite viewed it as an unforgivable insult. The goddess was known for blessing people with love and beauty, but when angered, she could become cruel and vindictive. As punishment, Aphrodite cursed Myrrha with an unnatural desire for her own father, King Cinyras. Driven mad by the curse, Myrrha secretly deceived her father and became pregnant. But when the king discovered the truth, he was horrified and enraged. He chased Myrrha with the intent to kill her, and in desperation she prayed to the gods for mercy. The gods answered by transforming her into a myrrh tree. Months later, the bark of the tree split open, and from within it, a child emerged. That child was Adonis. Even from birth, Adonis was connected to themes of beauty, suffering, desire, and transformation. The myrrh tree itself held deep symbolism in the ancient world, as myrrh resin was used in perfumes, sacred rituals, medicine, and burial ceremonies. In many ways, Adonis was born from both love and death. As Adonis grew older, his beauty became impossible to ignore. The myths describe him as so extraordinarily handsome that even the gods themselves became captivated by him. No one became more obsessed than Aphrodite. The goddess of love fell deeply in love with the young mortal and became fiercely protective of him. Some versions of the myth say that while Adonis was still an infant, Aphrodite placed him inside a chest and entrusted him to Persephone, the queen of the Underworld, to keep him safe. But when Persephone opened the chest and saw the child's incredible beauty, she too fell in love with him. Soon, neither goddess was willing to give him up. The conflict between Aphrodite and Persephone became so intense that Zeus was eventually forced to intervene. To settle the dispute, he ordered that Adonis divide his time between them. For part of the year, Adonis would remain with Aphrodite in the world above, surrounded by sunlight, life, and passion. For the other part of the year, he would descend into the underworld to remain with Persephone among the dead. This arrangement became one of the most symbolic parts of the myth. Many historians and scholars believe Adonis represented the cycle of nature itself. His descent into the underworld symbolized winter, death, and the fading of life from the earth, while his return symbolized spring, rebirth, and renewal. This connection transformed Adonis from a simple mortal lover into a sacred figure associated with fertility, vegetation, and the changing seasons. As he matured, Adonis became known not only for his beauty but also for his love of hunting. He was fearless and adventurous, drawn to the danger and excitement of the wilderness. Aphrodite adored him deeply, but she constantly worried for his safety. In particular, she warned him to stay away from dangerous animals, especially wild boars. In Greek mythology, boars were often symbols of destruction, chaos, and violent death. But Adonis ignored the warnings. Confident in his abilities and driven by youthful pride, he ventured into the forest to hunt alone. One day, during a hunt, Adonis encountered a massive wild boar. The creature attacked violently, charging him with enormous tusks. Adonis was mortally wounded and collapsed in the wilderness, bleeding to death. When Aphrodite discovered what had happened, she was overcome with grief. Some versions of the myth say she ran desperately through thorn bushes trying to reach him, cutting her skin on the roses around her, Her blood stained the white roses red forever. Other versions claim that Aphrodite's tears mixed with Adonis's blood upon the earth, creating the delicate red anemone flower. Because of this, flowers became forever associated with mourning Adonis and symbolized the fragile nature of beauty and life. One of the darker mysteries surrounding the story is the true identity of the boar that killed him. Some myths claim it was simply a tragic accident caused by nature. Others suggest that the attack was intentional and sent by a jealous god. Certain versions say Ares, the god of war and Aphrodite's lover, became enraged by her obsession with Adonis and transformed himself into the boar to murder the young man. Other stories blame Artemis or Apollo. The conflicting accounts make Adonis's death feel almost destined, as though no mortal so loved by the gods could ever truly survive. Greek mythology often portrayed beauty as dangerous. Those blessed with extraordinary beauty frequently became targets of jealousy, obsession, and destruction. The worship of Adonis in the ancient world was also deeply emotional and unique. Greek women held ceremonies known as the Adonia in his honor. During these rituals, women planted small gardens filled with fast-growing plants that bloomed quickly and withered just as fast. These were called the Gardens of Adonis and symbolized the shortness of his life and the temporary nature of beauty and youth. The ceremonies were often mournful, filled with grieving, singing, and remembrance. Unlike many state-controlled Greek religious festivals, the Adonia was personal and intimate, especially among women. Historians also believe the myth of Adonis may have existed long before the Greeks adopted it. His name likely comes from an ancient Semitic word meaning Lord, suggesting his origins may trace back to older Middle Eastern fertility gods connected to death and rebirth. What makes the story of Adonis so powerful is that he was not remembered for heroic battles, intelligence, or conquest. Unlike Achilles, Odysseus, or Heracles, Adonis became immortal through beauty alone. His story explored how beauty could inspire desire, obsession, grief, envy, and destruction all at once. Even Aphrodite, the goddess of love herself, could not save him from death. In many ways, the myth reflects one of the deepest fears shared by humanity, that beautiful things never last forever. Even today, the name Adonis is still used to describe an extraordinarily handsome man. Thousands of years later, his story survives because it speaks to something timeless within human nature. It reminds us of how fragile youth, beauty, and life truly are. Adonis did not conquer kingdoms or defeat monsters, yet his tragedy became immortal. Perhaps that is because the Greeks understood that the most unforgettable stories are often not the victorious ones, but the tragic ones. Thank you for watching Epic Greek Myths. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the darker, tragic, and lesser-known stories of Greek mythology. And let me know in the comments which mythological figure you would like to see next.